And we will begin laying down on our back. Thanks for coming to practice. So we have 45 minutes together. We'll just take 3 breaths here together on our spine. So you can have the feet on the mat, the knees bent, and you're welcome to keep feet parallel or walk the feet wide, knock the knees in to touch. And place the hands on the rib cage. Take a full big morning breath in through your nose and open the mouth, sigh. And you might do 2 more like that, or close the lips and start to breathe in through nose. Again, rib cage widens and expands on the inhale. And then if you're breathing out through the nose, find a smooth, slow, controlled exhale. And then simply repeat until you establish your own rhythm, your own timing of breath. And the idea, if you're new to yoga or if you're coming back to your practice, is to establish a breath rhythm. So something that can feel quite equal and steady and controllable for your body. But we do want to begin to softly kind of edge the breath towards a longer inhale and exhale. So we invite our body to breathe with greater capacity. We fill up with this oxygen, this energy, or this kind of life force we call prana. We fill the body up, and then we allow it to kind of circulate back out again. So there's this constant taking in and giving back, this receiving and releasing to the practice. And then we'll bring the feet parallel if not already, knees bent, feet underneath the knees, hands pressed down by the side of the body, and then roll your pelvis up to a low glute bridge. So kind of halfway between where your high bridge would be and the floor. And I want you to do this so you can activate the glutes, wrap them under to the back of your knees, and then dig the feet down, but drag the heels down and back towards your fingers. And you should feel the hamstrings start to light up here. We'll reach the arms to the sky. Take the left fingertips and point them in the direction of your knees so that your palm pushes to the ceiling. Grab your left fingers with your right hand and pull the fingertips down. So you get a little forearm stretch. You are also welcome to take the fingers to the back of the mat and do the same action and see which feels better for the wrist and forearm. Meanwhile, we keep the glutes activated and the heels dragging back. So hamstrings, glutes really strong. And then roll that left wrist out, give it a little shake. Take the right fingertips, point them towards your knee, and then grab right fingers with left hand so that the palm of the right hand is pushing to the ceiling. Again, you're welcome to flip the fingers the other way. And then one more breath. Again, notice if you've already lost the concentration towards breathing. And then shake out the right wrist. And reach the arms back behind your head, interlace the fingers, push the palms away from you so you traction out underneath the sides of the waist. And then use that length from your glutes wrapping to the back of the knees, palms pushing up above the head to stretch through the sides of your waist. So you get this long length through the spine. And then use that length to traction one vertebra at a time. Upper back melts to the floor, mid back rolls, lower back, and then the sacrum and the pelvis touch last. Bring the hands back down by the sides of the body, and then roll back up one more time to our low glute bridge. Bring your feet together so your inner thighs squeeze. You've got one leg here, inner thighs squeeze towards midline. Ground the left foot and then hover the right foot off the floor. Good, so we're gonna hold here just a little bit more for the glute. You might take one hand to front of pelvis, one hand to back of pelvis, and again, just reorientate so that there's a scoop through the front of the body and a wrap through the back of the body. And we'll hold here. Last breath. And then place right foot down, squeeze the inner legs together again, and then float the left leg. So it's just a tabletop float. Again, you might use hand to front and back of pelvis, reorientate that quite scoop and tuck here, just so we can activate the glutes. Hold, dig the right heel down. One more breath. And then place, feet to the floor, walk the feet parallel again, and roll your spine all the way down to the mat. Okay, we'll grab the knees, pull them into the chest, wriggle across your lower back a little bit, little stir and massage for the spine, the hips. And then you're welcome to roll the body to one side or rock and roll your way up onto the hands and the knees. We'll come around. Okay, so we'll take the hands slightly forward out in front, move the spine forward. So you're in this kneeling plank position. And I want you to push the ground away so you find a protraction through your upper back, but then counterbalance that by pulling center of the chest forward and heels of the hands back. So we don't want to round too much. We want to find a neutral placement through the shoulder blades. Draw the chin in, and then we're going to take 3 chaturanga push-ups. So you might do a little micro bend and just work a quarter of the way and then push back up. So move with me here, either micro, quarter, or maybe halfway to your chaturanga, and then push back up. Last one, bend, pull the chest forward, and then push back up. Good. Last one, slowly bend, elbows back, and then lower all the way down to the belly. Lengthen the legs back behind you. We're going to do some cobra pulls. So take the arms forward out in front. So you're one long line here. Plug the feet, the thighs down, and pubic bone presses to mat, but find that little glute activation we did in the bridge. Lift the forehead and the chest just off the mat and the arms float. We'll take a breath here, find length as you stretch, and then squeeze the elbows down like a cactus or a lat pull down as you hug the elbows towards the sides of the ribs. And then lengthen everything low to the floor as you stretch. Pull, exhale, lift the chest a little higher. Keep going. As you do this, again, focus on pubic bone pressing, but glutes slightly wrapping to the top of your hamstrings. You might even feel this sensation of the thigh bone kind of squeezing and plugging up in towards the glute. Last one, squeeze, hover here. One more breath. And then the hands will set either side of the rib cage, cobra pose, feel that upper back working to lift. Little press through the hands, and then lower the spine back to the floor. Tuck the toes, push up to your knees, and then downward facing dog. Lift the hips up higher. In downward dog, you might like to bend the knees, walk out through the backs of your legs and your calves. And push the arms down and forward, and then a little bend in the knees if you feel the hamstrings are a little stiff, so that you can lengthen up and out away from the arms. So we want to push the floor away and send the pelvis up and back. One more breath in down dog. Establish that quality of breathing that feels accessible, rhythmical. And then begin to walk forward to your hands, top of the mat. Bend the knees in forward fold so you can hinge the ribs over the legs. The ribs over the legs. And then halfway lift. Press hands to fronts of shins. Pull the chest forward and through. And then as you push hands to legs, push the legs back into the hands. So we feel really strong through the back of the calf. And then bow forward, let the head soften. Roll all the way to stand, coming up to Tadasana. And then reach the arms high, big breath in. Bring the hands to meet center of the chest, exhale. I'm going to take Surya Namaskar A, 3 rounds with some add-ons. So push through the legs to rise up like that, traction out of the waist. Bend the knees as you hinge. Again, go forward and over the top of the mat to fold. Halfway lift, press hands to shins, shins back into the hands. And then hands to the mat, step back, high plank. In your high plank, find that neutral placement of the shoulder blades. So round the upper back first, protraction, so you puff, and then counterbalance, pull center of the chest forward, out over the thumbs. So we lengthen the front body. On or off your knees, lower chaturanga, arms pull back, elbows pull back to lower, all the way to the mat. We'll take cobra pose, press through hands, tops of feet and thighs, squeeze the upper back to lift, and then exhale to lower. Tuck your toes, engage the abdomen, lift the kneecaps if you're going to push to plank. Otherwise, through your knees is perfect. And then downward facing dog, lift the hips. Send your gaze between the big toes, and then again, reconcentrate attention to breath. Even notice this quality of taking in, fueling up, energizing the body on the inhale. And there's this kind of passing out, letting out, and emptying of the exhale. Come high to your toes, walk forward or step top of the mat to forward fold. Halfway lift, energize the legs and then stretch the spine forward. Bow, empty the breath out. All the way to rise, push through the legs, engage the glutes as you stand, and then hands meet center of the chest. Again, inhale. So this becomes a meditation. Reach up on the breath in. Follow your rhythm as you breathe out to fold over the thighs. Even close the eyes, halfway lift, so you feel the movement. Hands to the mat, high plank, so you know where you're going here. Hold for a breath. Find the spine long, the legs strong, and then lower chaturanga all the way down towards the belly. Modification here, like beginning, reach the arms forward, stretch. Lift the arms, the forehead, and the chest. This time float the legs off the mat. So we're one long line here. Notice the rib cage opening into the floor. Can you knit the lower ribs back up into the body just a little bit here? And then take a breath in to pull and reach. Exhale, squeeze the elbows like we did. And this time, squeeze your heels towards your pelvis. So we find a bent leg position. Stretch long, inhale, lengthen and lower. Only go as high as it feels comfortable for your body. So you can stay a little lower with the chest if you need to. 2 more, inhale. I like to call this skydiver pose. So feel like a skydiver floating and flying here as you pull everything in. Last one, inhale, stretch it out. Pull into skydiver. Feel the resistance as you squeeze the heels towards the pelvis. And then hands down by the ribs, lengthen the legs down, push the feet to the floor. Little baby cobra, inhale. And then lower all the way to the floor. Again, re-engage the abdomen, feel the glutes slightly wrap, push up to knees or plank, and then downward facing dog. Again, gaze between the legs. Come back to sensation, breath. Last inhale. Slow exhale. You can come high to your toes if you'd like to hop forward, a light spring to the hands. Otherwise, continue to walk and step, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. All the way to rise, reach the arms up, ground the legs, engage through thighs to lift, and hands meet, press center. Last round, inhale. So slow your movement and slow your breath. If you're feeling like things are running away, forward fold. Halfway lift, find the energy through the legs. Hands to mat, step back to plank, or if you've got a hop back, you're welcome to lean into the arms and then lightly hop to plank and then lower chaturanga. Either stay with the cobra on the belly or come to tops of feet, lift the thighs and the pelvis, and upward facing dog, straighten the arms. So hips are off the floor here. Downward dog through knees, plank or pike to pull up and back. So you can always, through our vinyasas, we call them the vinyasa, which is the plank to chaturanga, cobra or up dog. You can always drop the knees and you can always stick with cobra. So it'll be your choice for the rest of class. We'll come high to the toes in down dog. Again, either step, walk, or lightly spring top of the mat to forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Again, bow forward, empty. Let the breath out. All the way to rise. Reach up, Tadasana. Strong and tall. Hands meet, prayer center. Surya Namaskar B. So chair pose. Feet can be together or separate a little wider. Hips sit back, so the weight is heavy in the heels, but the balls of the feet still press down and forward. I want you to pull the biceps back by the ears, and then maybe take one hand to your lower back and one hand to the front where the lower ribs are. I want you to pull the lower ribs, press them back into the body, and slightly lengthen the glutes under a little bit. So we're not arching through the lower back as you can see me doing now. We want to slightly wrap them in and soften the ribs back into the body. Really hard for me and maybe for some of you as well. Take one more breath. I know you can feel the fire in the legs here. And then we'll forward fold over the thighs. Halfway lift. So you know this movement now. Feel it with integrity in your body. Hands to the mat. Again, we step back to plank or lightly hop back. Now, if you'd like to skip some of these chaturangas, go straight to down dog. Otherwise, your variation of the vinyasa, chaturanga to cobra or upward facing dog, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Bring your feet together in down dog, one leg. Come high onto the tippy toes. Right leg lifts up and back. So push the ball of the foot to the sky. Pull right knee forward to right elbow and then step behind the right hand. Ground your back left heel down so that it's a little wider to the left. Right thumb, give me a thumbs up, and take the right thumb into the front right hip crease. Pull the right hip back and in, and then reach the left arm up, torso stacks above the hips. So warrior one, if you're feeling wobbly, walk your right foot wider to the right. And then hands can be on the hips, again, to feel the glute engage, left glute engages, and front of the pubic bone and hips lift. Arms to sky, wrap the biceps by the ears. Again, notice the ribs. Can you pull the ribs back, down, and in? So we engage through the front abdomen. So you don't even have to do a sit-up. You can just focus on your ribs, pulling to the frontal hips. And this can be our sit-up. Yes. Who likes doing 100 crunches? Not me. One more breath. Slowly, hands down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Now stay here, 3 breaths, or come forward high plank. Chaturanga, arms pull back. Cobra or upward facing dog. Down dog, breath out. Feet together in down dog, left leg lifts up and back. Push through the ball of the foot. Left knee to left elbow, squeeze it forward, step behind the left hand. Ground your back right heel down and maybe walk the left foot wider. Thumbs up with the left hand, hook it into front of left hip Pull the left hip back. Right arm pulls forward to lift the spine upright. And then again, you can use your hands on your body to feel what is happening. I like to touch the right glute and make sure it's on. And then I like to draw the frontal ribs and just gently kind of guide them to soften back towards my spine. Arms reach up. Gaze forward, steady breath. Feel this warrior quality in your legs, yeah? So it's strong, it's stable. Warriors are really, they're there, they're ready, they're composed. So can you cultivate this similar energy through the warrior one, through Surya Namaskar B, this kind of composed, controlled quality, even in the strength of the vinyasa. Circle your hands down to the mat. Step back again, downward dog, 3 breaths, or come forward, high plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in, come high to tippy toes. Bend the knees, walk, step, or float. Forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in. Bow forward, exhale. Through the chair pose, sit the hips back, sweep the arms forward. Come to stand, Tadasana, legs push to straighten, hands circle down, and then back to prayer. Round 2, chair, inhale, sit back. Hold, breath out. One more, wrap the biceps back by the ears, strengthen the shoulders. And then forward fold, pelvis lifts. Halfway lift, breath in, draw the front body to back body. Hands to mat, either step to plank, hop to plank, and we move through vinyasa or straight to down dog. So this is where you get to create your own practice at home. You can really start to choose where you go, how you move. Legs together, down dog, right leg lifts up and back. Pull right knee to right elbow, step behind the hand, find your warrior one. So back heel grounds, right hip in, and then both arms sweep all the way up to right. So if you feel wobbly, set the feet in a stable position. We'll stay here for one more breath. Okay, bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to lean the spine forward and out, squeeze the shoulder blades onto your back, and then lift your back heel up off the ground. So you're on the ball of the back foot, more of an arrowhead lunge here. Lean forward, dig the right heel down and pull the right foot back towards the back toes. You're going to lean so far forward that you can come and tap your left foot into chair next to the right. Good. And then lean forward, take your left leg back and find that arrowhead lunge. Woo! Just going to do 2 more. So lean forward, pull the front foot back as you bring left foot to meet chair pose. Squeeze the legs, sit. And then lean forward, weight in the right toes to step the left toes back. Keep your hands on your hips or reach your arms forward. Exactly the same action. Forward, chair pose, lift the chest a little. Lean forward, weight into right foot, step back. Last one, come forward, chair pose. Good, and then push through the left leg, stand up, right knee pulls into your chest. That right leg gets a little breather. Woo. And then you're going to step right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Low lunge. Reach your arms up. Good. And then bring your hands onto the thigh. Okay, so push the front heel down. Same sensation. Drag it towards your back right knee. So you feel the inner legs traction past one another here. And then I'm going to get you to push your hands down, so interlace the hands, push them on top of the thigh, engage through the right glute, and then we're going to pull the right heel in towards our glute. So you probably definitely going to get a hamstring cramp. Yeah, move through it. So the hamstring cramp is just saying, oh my goodness, why have you suddenly decided to turn this muscle on that is never firing? So see if you can just stay. If it's super intense, obviously release the toes and lift the back knee to stretch it out. But I want you to engage the hamstring and pull the foot towards your butt. Good. Last breath. Ooh. And then release. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Lift your back knee now. Stretch the leg. Fingertip lunge. Inhale. And then step, top of the yoga mat, feet together, forward fold. You'll get a little release through that hamstring here. Take a halfway lift. Hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Again, stay in down dog, 3 breaths, or come forward high plank. Chaturanga on the exhale, slow it down. Cobra or upward facing dog, inhale here to expand. And then it's an exhale to pull hips up and back to down dog. Feet together in down dog, left leg lifts. Push through ball of the foot, push through the arms. Left knee to right elbow, squeeze it in and step behind the left hand. Spin the back heel down first. Warrior 1, hook the left hip back, push through the feet and rise up. Again, you might like to use hands on the body so you can feel into your shape. And we'll just take one more breath. Okay, hands to hips for our first round. Spin on the ball of the back foot so your heel is now up. So you're on the ball of the back foot. Begin to lean forward, but focus on digging your front heel down and pull your front foot to the back toes. So you engage the back of the hamstring there. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward, and then back toes step, chair pose to meet the left leg. Again, lean forward, weight in the left foot. Step, right toes back. Good. One more like that with hands on hips. So focus on pulling left foot towards the back toes. Chair, both feet down. Lean to left foot. Step, right toes back. Stay with hands on hips or reach the arms forward. Same thing. Find that length through fingers. Chair, squeeze the legs, lift the chest. Lean a little forward and step, right toes back. Last one, everybody. So good. This is tough. Lean forward, step, knees together. Take a breath in, stand on your right leg, push the right leg and lift the left knee up. Hold here. Again, focus on ribs, quiet. And then hands to hips. Big step with the left foot all the way back, hands to the mat, and then drop the left knee to the floor. Arms lift up, low lunge. Use the breath again. Inhale to nourish, exhale to push energy out. And then hands interlace on top of the right thigh. Engage the left glute, pull the front foot to the back knee, and then do your best. Squeeze the heel towards your pelvis, to the back of your pelvis. So hamstring, mine is absolutely cramping. But it's like anything, the more you get comfortable or familiar with a sensation, it doesn't bother the mind so much. Yeah, the body's okay here. It's just the mind that's not okay with the action. One more breath. Ooh. Squeeze the glute and then release. Hands to the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, stretch it out. And then step, top of the yoga mat, forward fold. Ooh, get some length there. Take a halfway lift, breath in, and bow forward. All the way to rise. Lift your arms up above your head, grow tall. And hands meet center of the chest. Okay, we're gonna move to down dog. So reach the arms up, breath in. Bend the knees, hinge and fold over the thighs. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to mat, step back, downward facing dog. Just down dog here. And then come forward onto your knees. We're going to do a couple of little lean back matrix style movement. So you can keep the tops of the feet flat, or if this feels better to tuck your toes under, you're welcome to tuck the toes under. So whatever feels best for your body. Again, I want you to take one hand to the back, just above where your glutes are, and one hand to the front where your ribs are. And so some of us might be in more of a natural position like I'm demonstrating here, maybe, maybe not. But if this is you, I want you to gently wrap the glutes under a little bit and pull the front ribs down. So we find more length here. It's just a little containment for the ribs to activate the core and also to activate the glutes. Okay, hands can come to the hips. You're going to keep this line from knees, hips, shoulders, and skull. Nothing is going to change. You're going to bend and hinge at the back of the knee so that you move this whole shape back, hence the matrix. And you might even like to take one hand to the front and the back so you can feel those muscles working, and then pull all the way back up. Inhale, go up and back. And you just go as far as it feels manageable for your body. This is strong for the core and the quads. 2 more. Lean back. Hinge. And come forward. Last one we're going to hold. Lean back, hinge. Good. Notice what's happening to the pelvis. Are the glutes kind of turning and fanning out? Can you wrap the glutes under? It's almost like a little thrust of the pubic bone forward. Draw the ribs in. Feel that core work. Again, abdominals are firing here. Good. We'll hold. Cactus the elbows and pull the shoulders back behind you. So you open through the pecs and the chest. One more breath. I am shaking here. So proud of you all. Take one more breath in and then come all the way up. Woo. Bring your hands down to the mat. And then lower all the way onto your belly. So that same cactus shape that you just did there, you're going to do that now on the yoga mat. So turn to look towards your left hand. Both elbows are down on the ground. And then you're going to start to take the left hand to the chest and then roll the left leg back behind you so that you get into the right pec. Now, some of you might quite like this little kickstand with the left leg, or bend both the knees and stack them in front of your body. And this is a little bit more length for the lower back in this shape. We're not going to be here for long, so just 2 more breaths. 45 minutes. Time is precious. Time is always precious, right? But sometimes when we don't have that clock spinning or that countdown, we can kind of lose the importance of time. Okay, and then we'll come back. Cactus, left elbow flat, look to the right, right hand comes in, and then roll the right leg back. Stay here or stack the knees on top of one another. 3 big breaths. This is a beauty of a stretch. This is a good one to do every day, this one. Open up the chest. Okay, and then slowly come back down onto the belly. Hands will reset for cobra. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, feel abdomen engaged. Push up, downward facing dog. So good. Start to walk forward. Top of the mat, find a forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in. And bow forward. Okay, roll up through your spine, nice and steady. Okay, we're going to take a final little flow on each side. We're going to come into our dancer's pose. So stand on the right leg to begin. You've already done this today. Lift left knee up into your chest. Keep this 90-degree bend at the knee, and then just move the whole shape so that your knees are now in line with one another. And you're coming into that same squeeze of the heel towards your pelvis. So like we did in the Anjaneyasana, the low lunge. So this might be where you stay, yeah? And you can just stay here, really work the glute hamstring activation. Or if it's available for you, take your left hand down and grab the outside of your left ankle. So we'll just take the outside grip today. If you're used to another variation, do this one. And then you can stay here. This is a balance, yeah? I want you to upright the front of the pelvis and lengthen through the lower back. All of that same work we've been doing. And then maybe you take the right arm up and stretch up away from the floor. Hold here or start to kick back. Kick the left foot up and back. So it doesn't have to go too far. Then lift up on top of your right hip and begin to lean the spine up and out. So it's kind of like that chair hinge that we were doing, stepping forward and back. One leg is pushing back and the spine and the arm is reaching forward. Lift the center of the chest. Take a full breath in here. Stay for the breath out. Good. Last inhale, wherever you are in your balance. Good. Now, if you're in the dancers, you're going to keep your leg up and back behind you. Everyone's going to meet here. And we're going to find warrior 3. So the back left leg kicks away, the arms pull forward, and we lengthen the spine up and over the front thigh. Just one more breath in your warrior 3. Big inhale. And then cactus the elbows, squeeze them down, bring your hands down to frame your right foot, and big step with the left toes back of the mat. Left hand under the shoulder, right arm opens to twist. Take a breath in, and then circle the hand down to the mat. 3-legged down dog, right leg sweeps up and back, inhale. So right leg to the sky. And then bend the right knee and open through your right hip. Draw the ribs back into the body. You can stay or come high to the ball of your left toes. Spin your left heel down so you're on the blade edge of your left foot. And then you're going to tap the right toes to the floor behind your left calf. So we're here in a side plank variation, wild thing. Otherwise, stay in the down dog shape. Right arm can open and reach the right arm up and over your ear. Lift through the chest. One more breath. And then downward facing dog. Stay in down dog or come forward high plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Stay in down dog, one more breath. And come high to toes, walk, step or hop to the hands, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Roll to stand all the way. Reach the arms up above your head and bring the hands to prayer. Okay, last side. Stand on the left leg, hands to hips, lift the right knee up. So you have a little bit of information now. You know where you're going. You know where your body can play. And do see it as playful. We often don't see ourselves as enough. So you can squeeze your right heel to your glute here as the knees come back to in line. We often see ourselves as not enough. So if you're looking at the body and going, oh, I can't do this or I can't go there, really come back to where you are. Maybe the left arm lifts. Maybe the right hand catches outside the right ankle. And then you might stay there, lift up, grow tall. Maybe play with dancer, kick back. So the foot kicks back into the arm as the chest lifts up and out over the front thigh. So come back and notice what you can do in this pose. Can you breathe? Okay, and then we're going to meek here, find warrior three. So if you're in the dancer, stay and reach the right arm forward, and then everybody start to stretch the right leg back, reach both arms forward, up and out on top of the left leg. One more breath. Cactus your elbows, pull them in. Woo. And then little hands down to the mat. Right toes, big step back, right hand under the shoulder, find your twist, left arm up. And then circle the left hand down, three-legged down dog. So push through the arms, take the left leg up and back, bend the knee and open the hips. You can stay here, this is great. Otherwise, come high to your right toes, spin the blade edge and heel of the right foot down to the right. And then the left foot is going to come down to tap behind the calf muscle in the knee. Left arm can reach up, overhead, little wild thing, wrap the glutes again to open the front of the hips. Final breath in. And then left hand to the floor, find your downward facing dog. Stay or last vinyasa, forward to high plank. Strong lower chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog. So good. Last full breath here together. Empty it out. And then begin to walk forward, step or float, halfway lift, and bow. And then you can lower however you need to, maybe through a malasana or a squat, bend the knees, take the hands behind you, and come all the way to sit. Well done, you made it. Let's take a seated twist. Right leg straight, left foot outside the right knee. Wrap the right arm around, find your cradle hook, and then draw the spine forward and up to the thigh to lengthen out of the lower back, and a little gentle twist. You can stay or left fingertips behind you. Right arm can lift, breath in, exhale, twist the hook. No pressure to add the bind, only if it feels comfortable for you to breathe here. Just one more inhale. And out. Then come back to face forward. We'll swap sides. Slide right foot in, step it outside the knee. Cradle around the front of the shin. Hold here. Lift up and out of the lower back. Breath in. Exhale, twist. And then right fingers can come back. Left arm lifts up. Maybe hook the elbow and hold here. Start to deepen the breath a little bit more. Focus on a longer exhale to slow the nervous system down, bring it towards rest. And then come back through center. We'll take a forward fold, Paschimottanasana, forward fold. It's nice to use the Sanskrit language to remember the culture and the background of this practice. So Paschimottanasana, bend the knees, reach the arms up. I like to keep the knees bent so the spine can hook out and over rather than hunching through the back. And then we'll dig the heels down, pull back on the edges of the feet or the calves, wherever you're holding. Lengthen up and out, and then soften forward and down. So we've reached 45 minutes. So if you need to start to kind of finish up your practice because you're on a bit of a timeline with work or children or all that stuff, you're welcome just to slowly complete your practice. Otherwise, I'll just take a few more minutes to bring us to rest. Soften the gaze, soften the head now. And then we'll slowly roll up to roll all the way down. And you might bend the knees, grab behind the legs and C curl. So scoop through the abdomen to control your roll down onto your back. And then as you come onto your back, take a little hug of knees or a happy baby, like we did at the very beginning, just to massage and roll the spine down. And then we'll just take just a minute to pause, yeah? So you could have knees bent like beginning of class, rest the hands on the ribs or legs long in a more traditional Shavasana. And just a few breaths here, so I won't take too much time, but just take a moment to pause. Maybe notice if you can hear birds or the soundscapes in your own space here. Can you just tune in to sounds, let it wash over you. And let go of any controlled breath. Let go of any physical action. Just completely drop body into the mat. And then you're welcome to stay here as long as you please. Otherwise, wriggle fingers, wriggle toes, take a big yawn and a stretch. Thank your body for the wonderful movement and energy and breath. And when you're ready, roll the body to one side and gently come up to sit. Thank you so much for joining me for practice. Hope you have a wonderful day.